Thank you, Madam Chair. And Mr. Secretary, as you know, we have 63 crown jewels in our national park system. It's when people say, I want to visit every national park, they're normally talking about those crown jewels. But there's 370 other national park sites in the system. And those include in Oregon places like the Oregon Caves, the John Day Fossil Beds, the Lewis and Clark National Historic Park, places of significance. Certainly the people of Oregon, but the people of the nation. You have proposed slashing $900 million from the national park system by offloading some of those 370 national park sites, and that are not part of the crown jewels. And you calculated you could save this $900 million with lower maintenance because there'd be fewer sites. Do you have the list of sites that you plan to offload for us?
I do not. This is a proposed idea, and the whole 900 is not related specifically, but thank you for clarifying for everyone that this does not touch any of, as you've described, the crown jewel parks. But certainly in places like North Dakota with Knife River Indian Villages, we've got places that were designated as federal locations that have almost no visitors. They're cost centers. We have to staff them. We have to maintain them. And I know as a governor that...
So are you going to send us a list of the proposed sites?
This is a proposal for the 2026 budget, so we'll be working through, and I think this is going to be a case by case, state by state, to see where they're. But yes, we will send you it when we have the plan.
I'll try to keep moving quickly because of the limited time, but certainly most of these, there are a small number that were not established through law, but almost all of the 370 were established by law. Is it your understanding that we would have to change the law in order for you to be able to put these sites up for transfer?
Yes.
Okay. I appreciate that because we were very concerned that this would be a form of an executive action and then we'd all go to court and fight it out because the law established them, and we believe that the law has to be changed in order to send them off. And if you have some in your home state that you're comfortable sending off, that you could request the governors to say what do they want to do. But I have a feeling the governor of Oregon would say these sites, these 3 sites in Oregon and others are of great value to our national system for all Americans. I want to turn to the challenge we're getting of getting answers from your department. We've had repeated requests dating back to January 23rd about funding, whether you want to use the term frozen or the term impounded or delayed, and we haven't gotten answers. How do we get answers from your staff?
Well, let's start with any specific ones you may not have. I mean, we are following the executive orders, the secretarial orders to review. There was an enormous amount of money that went out the door between November 6th and January 20th. I think everyone would say that it would be responsible for us to make sure that those were going to the recipients that it was intended.
Well, just getting any kind of an answer would at least have us know that your team is actually paying attention to our requests for information. Can I call you when we can't get information?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Our international partners are fighting poaching and trafficking of elephants and rhinos, haven't been able to access their legally obligated funds since January 20th. Are these funds blocked? Are they delayed? Are they frozen? That's an example. You may not have the answer, but it's affecting studies that have been in motion, that many Americans passionately support our effort to be part of the international effort for these amazing animals.
And was there, I'm sorry, the question was?
Yes, the question is, if you do know the answer, you can tell me now, but otherwise, can you commit to getting us an answer?
Yeah, we can commit to getting you an answer.
Thank you. The law requires that we get a list for the Great American Outdoors Act and the Land and Water Conservation Fund projects by April 29th. Obviously, we're past that. We have not gotten that list. Can you assure us we'll get it shortly?
Yes, we'll be working on that.
Working on it, like, can we get it within the next couple weeks?
We've got lots of irons in the fire in terms of right now as we're trying to build up staff, but yes, we'll be working on it.
Well, let me just note that the number of days left in fiscal year 25 are evaporating. So less and less time to actually have the funding that was passed by law transmitted in an effective way. We hope that when we see those lists, that the funds will get out by the end of the fiscal year and that they will be fairly distributed across the country. What many are concerned about is we will see funding from the Great American Outdoors Act turn into a political tool. Can you commit that that will not happen?
We will follow the law related to the Great American Outdoor Act.
Well, it is not an answer because the law gives you some flexibility. I'm asking that this not become a fund to reward blue or red House districts in a discriminatory fashion.
I'm smiling because that practice was so widely used by the prior administration. It's one of the things we're reviewing, but certainly we will be trying to allocate the dollars based on the merit and based on following the law within.
Actually, I think your statement is very inaccurate about the previous administration, but we'll leave it to others to determine that situation. Because my time's evaporated, we'll turn to our next person.
Thank you. Senator Hoeven.
I just want to say on the last thing, grants went up by over 100% in the last part of the last administration. If we cut them by 50%, we would be back to where the level of spending we were in 2001 at the beginning of the Biden administration. And so the idea that taking a look at any cut is some dangerous, destabilizing thing is just not true. This thing operated, all these agencies operated with far less levels of spending for decades and decades compared to where they've been at the last few years.
Madam Chair, let me just point out that is not a point that I made, so I don't appreciate you trying to pretend that I did.
Let's go to Senator Hoeven, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for being here, Mr. Secretary. Appreciate it. Appreciate your service. Have you ever started